And welcome back to my channel Auto Social UK. Today is super exciting because I'm getting to test out a car that I've never driven before, and of course it's sitting behind me. Today I've been invited by Alpine to try out their model range, and I'm honestly so excited. I've never tried out anything like this, sports car, that type of thing. You know, I'm not used to having cars like this on the channel, so I'm so excited to get acquainted with the range, the standard 110, also the GT and the S. I'm going to be trying all three out today very quickly and giving you my opinions and running through what's changed for the 2022 model year. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you like new car reviews and car content, then hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's talk about the entry-level A110 Alpine. This entry-level 110 gets the Alpine chassis and 252 horsepower engine. Its mass has been optimally spread out, 44% at the front and 56% at the rear, with the engine in the central back position. And it's lighter than before, at 1,102 kilograms unladen. I just love the look of these little sports cars. So much character and so very retro. You can still absolutely see the original cars that it came from in its design. Those adorable little bug eyes. The Alpine is well known for being a lightweight sports car, and that's achieved by the chassis and the body being 96% aluminium. These wheels have been upgraded to 18s, usually they're 17s on the entry car, and the 110 gets some subtle black Brembos. I also absolutely adore this little French flag over the rear quarter. As I mentioned, you've got the rear mounted engine, which just enhances that sound when you're driving, and the central exhaust. I love it. It's so sleek, so simple, but so classic. There is a front and rear boot, and in the back here you'll find 100 litres, so I think enough to fit a small suitcase. And then there's an additional 96 litres in the front. Probably not the best road trip car, well, unless you travel light. Inside, it's very stripped back, a proper driver's car. Like I said, not really something I'm used to. There's some upgraded bucket seats, I'm pretty sure they're upgraded. Finish in Alcantara with the exposed chrome, the diamond leather and contrasting blue stitching. Oh, I love it so much. It's also the nice little touches, like the Alpine logo on the air vents. And again, you've got that little French flag on the door. Ah, j'adore. Standard things for all Alpines are keyless start, auto climate, LED headlights. Alpine has also fitted this new generation of multimedia system, including a 7-inch touchscreen now, Bluetooth and 2 USB outlets, and it is compatible with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've also got these piano keys underneath, which are nice and heavy too. This is completely set up to be a sports car. Everything down from the start button, which is massive big red start button, and this steering wheel with these huge paddles. This car is set up for fun. So I guess that's what we'll go and do. The engine and power in this entry-level 110 Alpine is the same as before. So it's a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and it produces 256 brake horsepower paired together with 320 newton meters of torque. Now that might not sound an enormous amount, but when it's in a car this size that's this light, it's seriously impressive. And it is more than enough to put a smile on my face. I guess one of the first things that I really notice is the lack of sports cars that I've actually driven recently. This is seriously just sticks to the road so well. The steering is so well weighted, and the pops and bangs coming out of the exhaust right now are brilliant. Literally every downshift, it's pop, 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 which is so much fun. Each versions of the 110 come with 3 driver selectable modes: normal, sport and track. Normal mode is geared more towards comfort, while sport mode is optimised for more driving dynamics and gear shifting, including the capability of shifting down gears and increasing engine revs between shifting up through the transmission. The throttle and engine response, power steering sensitivity, gift shifting rules, the exhaust valve activation all change according to the mode you select. Funnily, no eco here. Another all-new feature is found when initialising launch control procedure, with one of the cylinders temporarily disabled to produce a more engaging engine note. So next up, I'm in the seat of the Alpine 110 GT version. So this gets some upgrades, which I'll go over in a minute, and it also gets an increase in power, which I'll also explain. So let's take a closer look at the GT. The A110 GT is the range's Gran Turismo Sports Coupe. It gets an uplift to 300 horsepower and that renowned Alpine chassis. This one strikes a fine balance between performance and comfort. The A110 GT is most likely to be the best all-rounder. It's suited to everyday and long-distance driving, as well as more involved drives around the twisty roads, which are fantastic for around here. This GT is finished in the launch colour Thunder Grey, probably a little bit subtle for my liking. The GT gets Brembo high performance braking system, so a little bit above the standard one, 322 diameter discs at the front and rear, and of course they're finished in a wonderful blue. Inside, well, brown leather. I'm actually into it. Not sure with the balloon stitching, mind you. What do you think? There's a focal sound system above and beyond the entry car, as well as front and rear parking sensors as standard on this one, as well as a parking camera. It does also have heated seats on this car, and a warm bum will cost you £420. This car also has something called the storage pack, which gets you a cargo net behind the driver's seat, and you also get this neat little storage case. But guess how much this is? £468. I would literally want this to double up as a designer handbag. But anyway, right, less luggage talk, drive time. So now we're in something altogether a bit more serious. This is the GT version of the Alpine lineup, and this gets an up hike in power and also torque. So it still gets the standard 1.8 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but it now gets 300 brake horsepower compared to 256, and it also gets an up hike of 20 more newton meters of torque, so 340 newton meters of torque. The chassis is also stiffened and the exhaust note has changed, and this is behaving very different. It's much stiffer, far more sporty. I definitely am digging this interior as well. I really like the brown. There's something about it where brown just works so well in a sports car. For model year 2022, the GT has also seen an increase in power from previous years. So previously the GT was around the 280, 290 mark. So being now at 300 is a bit more of an animal. Here it is, the third and final car, the top spec S. I'm sure this is the one that everybody is waiting to see, and how beautiful does it look in this new edition orange. It looks absolutely amazing. Let's take a closer look. Here it is, the Alpine 110S. This sits at the top of the renewed range, focused on performance with that 300 horsepower, but this gets a unique sport chassis, as well as a reinforced roll bar, which brings you enhanced thrills, precision and safety, especially on track, which of course, unfortunately, I won't be doing today. First off, this colour. Oh God, it's a beauty. Fire orange, which is a new colour. The first clue to this being a track-ready car is it sits a little lower. This one's fitted with the optional aero kit, which is a little over £4,500, but it does push the top speed up to 170 miles per hour, so well worth it if you've already paid the £60,000 price tag and you're planning to take it on track. The kit is comprised of a carbon rear spoiler. How fantastic does this look? Now, I am a chav deep at heart, so I always think the bigger the spoiler, the better. But I believe this is actually the first time we've seen a factory fit spoiler on the 110. Of course, it does also have a reason. It improves the aerodynamic support. There's also a front blade and longer front fairings under the car to step up the efficiency of the rear diffuser and flat floor. The S, again, like the GT, does get 18s as standard, but these again have been spec'd up to be slightly different. You can't miss those orange Brembos. The S is fitted with high performance braking system, 322 diameter dual material discs at the front and rear. It also gets an active sports exhaust, although I'm pretty sure the GT was spec'd up to have this as well, but the S does get it as standard. Inside really means business. The little French flag has been swapped out for some carbon and orange. You've got quilted door cards, they're absolutely beautiful, and you've got the matching orange stitching to the outside. You can also spec this car up to have orange seat belts, which I would have quite liked actually. You can get all microfiber seat upholstery, and you can also get harnesses which are unique to the new A110S. So this is the third and final car that I'll be driving today, and this completes the lineup. This is the top of the range S. Now it gets the same power as the GT, but this car has been essentially tuned for track. So this is the car that you would want to take on the racetrack. Because of that, I'm expecting it to be a pretty rough ride around these Cotswolds roads. But one of the first things I notice is that exhaust. It just keeps getting better and better. But it sounds a lot more like it's in the cabin, that it's less kind of contained. It really does sound quite loud, and there is one hell of a burble coming from that. This car just has some serious attitude, especially finished in this colour. It just demands attention, and I think it deserves it because this is just incredible. Prices start from just under £50,000, or for another £10,000 for the track spec S. Mind you, mine was spec'd up to an eye-watering £71,500, although some of that spec was definitely unnecessary, like the luggage pack and folding mirrors. Depending on what you compare it to, this is either a bargain or breaking the bank. But one thing to consider is, thanks to the revisions made, it's also pretty economical, with up to 40.9% MPG possible. So there we have it. That concludes my first drive in an Alpine, and I've been seriously impressed. I absolutely love them. I'm not sure if a dream car garage has just been unlocked or not, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it too. And if you are thinking of buying one, then I hope this has been helpful to see the changes and see the new range of Alpine available. If you have enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this from me, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time guys, see you later.